This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1912, previews. Welcome to Comic Geek Speak. I'm Ian Levinstein.
I'm Shane Kelly.
And I'm Chris Eberly.
All right. Welcome one and all to the show and previews time, right smack dab at the end of the month, as we were running out of time. And I was like, oh, crap, it's previews. So we got to do previews, and previews is happening. So we are going to make that going.
I just did my order last night.
Oh,
I haven't done mine yet.
Well, then, at least we're not the only ones that are doing it right in the nick of time. And I'm sure that there'll be plenty of listeners who are also waiting until the last possible minute to do so. This is the September previews for books mainly coming out in the month of November. It is also hard to believe that the month of September is almost over. So that's
indeed.
Time flies, to say the least. Well, happy to look forward to discussing previews in a little while here, but first, of course, you listeners over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak, keep these episodes a-coming, and we thank you so much for that continued support of the show. You can join in for as little as $1 a month, and keep the lights on the internet, keep the lights on in the studio, and keep the lights on in our hearts. So we thank you very much for all that continued support.
Boy, that was syrupy, honey. Woo.
I know, right? Patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. If you want to donate the old school way, if you're not a part of Patreon and just want to throw some money our way, you could do so at comicgeekspeak.com/donate.php. And if not, then spread the word about the show. Send us a review on Apple or Google or Spotify, wherever you happen to have it, or just tell a friend, and that's as good as anything. So thank you so much for any support you happen to
Hear, hear. Thank you.
Yeah, agreed. Ran a plane, put in smoke riding up in the sky. CGS rules.
Now I want to rent the plane. That's I never even thought about doing that, but clearly I just haven't been thinking hard enough.
Skywriting, good heavens, I couldn't think of the word skywriting. Oh my god.
Close enough. This is issue 420 of previews. It's also the second full Image Comics catalog. Issue 24 of the current run of Marvel previews, and issue 40 of DC Connect.
I really hope the rubber band snaps back and we pare these down a little bit at some point.
Well, the only way that that's going to happen is if we start just straight up going to the catalog of DCBS's distribution hub. Because that has DC Connect and Image as part of that catalog, just as pages inside of it, rather than individual books. But there's some repeats that happen in previews that are also being distributed by Lunar, and then there's just stuff that's entirely exclusive to Lunar that's in there as well. So maybe we'll think about that somewhere down the road.
That's food for thought. Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah,
but we will start at Image because that's where we usually start anyway. So may as well start with the Image catalog this time around, and plenty of stuff to talk about at Image as we get ourselves a mini-series premiere here with Crave, number 1 of 6. This is their launch of the month. Maria Lovett's Crave, mysterious app that promises to make your desires come true, spreads among the students of an elite university who use it as a hookup app. David, a top student, engages in a game of seduction with the unattainable Alexandra. But as requests to the app escalate and wreak havoc on campus, David and his friends' only chance to stop this spiral is to find out what really lies behind Crave. I feel like we're getting more and more of these mysterious app books coming out, but that's the life we live these days.
Yeah.
Yep. But this looks like it's going to be right up the crime and mystery alley for this, with a little bit of sexiness and erotica thrown in there for good measure,
Well, look at some of those alternate covers. I'd say it's erotica.
to say the least. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And artwork looks very, very down to earth for what it's presenting here. Kind
I
of
like it.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of the artist that did the Unwritten back in the day.
Yes, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend. Also reminds you kind of like, and I mean this in a good way, like early 90s Vertigo art. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but
No, it does. Yeah,
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that. Peter Gross was the artist on the Unwritten, by the way. So Gross-esque artwork here. All right, moving down to page 14, and we get to what was advertised on the cover. That, of course, is James Tynion IV's The Deviant, issue 1 of 9. This will be a 9-issue miniseries, so I'm sure they'll collect all 9 issues once it's all said and done. Joshua Hickson on the art chores and the cover chores, with alternate covers by a bunch of different artists like Sean Phillips,
That's
Lee
a great
Bermejo,
cover. Oof.
Christian Ward. Yeah, this cover in particular is
Wow.
very striking. And I'm sure Murd would have thoughts on the Christmas theme going on here.
Not only that, this is double Murd. It's Christmas and it's in the 70s.
Yep.
Yeah.
It may not be nearly as into the whole horror aspect of it all. Yeah, it's Milwaukee in 1972. A blood-stained Santa Claus commits unimaginable atrocities against young men. 50 years later, a troubled young writer interviews this so-called deviant killer who still maintains his innocence from behind bars. And as Christmas approaches once again, the past returns, wielding a sharpened axe. Got some It vibes here, too, for that matter.
I'm definitely going to try this. Absolutely.
Yep, definitely.
Milwaukee.
Love the artwork.
Once again, fantastic artwork. Yeah.
Look at the atmosphere and look at that in the department store panel.
Mm-hmm.
Go back. They're right there. Wow. Look at that.
Yep. That is 1972 as heck right there.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal.
Good stuff.
Good pick, Levy Poo.
Thank you. Page 14 for that one in the image previews. And then Andy Samberg
with Rick Remender.
With Rick Remender and Joe Troman bring us The Holy Roller. Everyone was sitting around wondering when comedian Andy Samberg would join writer Rick Remender and Fallout Boy's Joe Troman to write a comic book about a vigilante hero who smashes people's faces with a bowling ball, and everyone's dreams have come true. I didn't know I was dreaming it, but now that I have it, I'm happy I do. Page 20 for this. It's like Big Lebowski meets Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
You just Big Lebowski, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Absolutely. They say Kingpin meets Inglourious Bastards meets Batman, but I'm going with what I rolled out there as well. Equal parts action and humor in this special introductory issue with 42 full pages of story. I will be checking this out, whether I check it out in singles or whether I check it out in the subsequent collection. This is definitely happening, and it
looks like it's set in the 80s.
Yeah, I would think that too. Oh, and there's John Goodman.
That's John Goodman, totally.
Yeah.
Page 22, they definitely went 100% in the Lebowski way. Yep. Kind of looks the main character here swinging the ball looks a little bit like Andy Kaufman to me.
Yeah, good call.
Yep.
Good call. Levinston on fire already.
Doing my best, sir. Doing my best. Page 26, Petrolhead. Welcome to the non-human race. That's a good tagline right there for this one. Rob Williams on a story, Pi Par on the artwork. Straight into the non-human race with 42 robo-gorgeous launch issue story pages. Action-adventure dystopian sci-fi about killer cars.
I love the art.
Oh, yeah. The artwork is amazing, actually. Wow. They get the
great
robot.
Look at that.
The robot across. Very Transformers.
Wow.
Yeah. And to me, there's very few Transformers books that have looked this good.
I agree. Yeah. Which is probably a good sign, Shane, considering Transformers books are going to be coming out under the Image
Yeah.
banner pretty damn soon. So
Look how kinetic that page is. Holy mackerel.
yep.
Well, even go down to the next page or two where you get like city domes.
Oh yeah! Wow.
I mean, just the color palette used is extremely sci-fi.
Who's the artist on this again? I'm rolling back up. Pi Par. I am unfamiliar with Pi Par, but
not for long.
yeah, this is stupendous.
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff indeed. All right. Image has got some interesting new books launching in the month of November to look forward to. Blood Commandment. Talk about horror. Page 35. Living an isolated life in a shadowed valley surrounded by mountains and a thick forest, a father and son are terrorized by a dangerous supernatural presence. Only the father's dark secrets can save them or damn their souls for all eternity. This one looks even more Stephen King. With, again, beautiful artwork.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of The Last of Us a little bit, the video game tone. Page 35 for that one, and the subsequent pages paint the story of what you may be expecting when you get there. Joe Casey. Page 41. From the combustible creative team of Casey and Fox, the original Dutch is back. Dutch number 0 here. Joe Casey and Nathan Fox on the writing and artwork chores, and they are going full 90s Image on those alternative covers.
They sure are.
Yeah. First thing I thought of when I saw this was the Ed O'Neill movie Dutch for some reason.
Now look at those leg muscles on that lower variant cover. That is just 1992, folks.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, and the covers are by Ian Churchill and Jim Rugg, so like they know what they're doing there.
Yeah.
30 years since he served as the ultimate superhero soldier. Now his new life is shattered by an old enemy from the past. Will Dutch answer this newest call to action? Coming out.
That thigh is like a dinner party for cannibals dream. Holy wow. Here we go, Shane.
Yeah, for the end. This is the answer to life, the universe, and everything on page 42.
Yep, 42. With a cover by Andy Kubert, by the way.
Yeah.
Great cover. G.I. Joe, Remake Hero 301.
Yep. Larry Hama continuing his long-running G.I. Joe series, which has now been with, is it 3 different companies or 4 different companies?
I want to say 4. It was Marvel, Devil's Due, then whoever was last, IDW, and now Image.
Yeah, wow.
Didn't Image briefly have it before Devil's Due?
They may have.
I don't think they had the ongoing Larry Hama story, though.
Okay.
I think it was Devil's Due that first made the deal with Larry to
I've lost track.
Yeah. I can't remember.
But I could be wrong about that. And obviously our listeners are probably more adept in answering those questions than we are. But page 42 for this one, G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue 301. And it picks up looking damn G.I. Joe to me.
Yeah.
Especially on the artwork.
And according to there's Serpentor, no doubt shouting as he speaks. They said Joe's not going to make it in this story.
Damn. This artwork looks a lot better than a lot of G.I. Joe artwork I've seen over the years.
Yeah,
some have been really good, but some have not. This looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good.
This actually is reminiscent to me from that first issue that we read. To be honest with you,
you mean from the original Marvel series?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, they're definitely trying to like capture that spirit of the same art style there, and I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick this up just on the visuals alone, and plus, of course, it's Hama. But
absolutely. And
there you go.
Speaking of that very issue, indeed, if you want to go back and check out our review of G.I. Joe Real American Hero #1, and you yourself don't own a copy, page 49. The Larry Hama cut of G.I. Joe, A Real American.
Shane, did you know about this? Unedited dialogue, never before seen print?
Yep. Well, I didn't know that. I read it in the solicitation. I'm like,
wow.
Bye. Because I never knew there was unedited dialogue.
Wow.
It was CGS episode 1879.
Yes,
where we reviewed that.
That was a lot of fun. We reviewed that, then we reviewed the first animated miniseries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not so long ago.
Herb Trimpe and Bob McLeod on the artwork chores. Larry Hama on the story, page 49.
Yeah. God, that Marvel stuff. I have what's it called? Gosh. The complete collection. I think there's
the IDW series.
Yeah. There's 8 or 9 volumes of it.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
I think I have all but the last one. I cannot track that sucker down, and when I do, it's outrageous. I'm pretty sure it's number 9.
They're very high quality. They're great additions. Look at this: Jeff Johns and Gary Frank
continuing their Geiger series of mini series that they've been doing over at Image Comics. This is Geiger Ground Zero, issue 1 of 2. More action adventure dystopian superheroes for you on page 50, as the saga of the unnamed continues in the next 2 chapters here. Great Gary Frank artwork.
Yeah.
Page 55, Siphon Volume 2. The Ringo Award-winning series returns for a second volume. Moshen Ashraf and Arish Akanda on the story chores, with Thomas Hedlund on the artwork. The original trade paperback for Siphon is available as well. So any of you who haven't checked it out can certainly find the first volume to read, and then pick up volume 2, issue 1 of 4 here on page 55. I like how many preview pages they're giving us with this new version of the Image catalog. Good stuff. Trade paperback on page 61 for Arcade Kings. Dylan Burnett, a new prestige comic series sensation, perfect for fans of Invincible and Murder Falcon. They had me at the first one there. Mysterious new face in Infinity City has suddenly become the hottest undefeated player at the Roundhouse Arcade. But when his most formidable challenge yet rolls into town, Joe's forced to combo his powers with a joystick, his fists, and his family's secret fighting legacy.
Sounds like your kind of book, honey.
Yes, it does. Remember when this first came out, being interested in it, and this collects the first 5 issues of Arcade Kings, available for everybody on page 61. Scrolling down, Black Science: The Beginner's Guide to Entropy.
I never read this book, Black Science.
I think I might actually have the first volume, and I've never actually read it. But Rick Remender and Matteo Scalera bring us the 10th anniversary deluxe edition of The Beginning of Black Science on page 67. 16 issues of Black Science, all in one package here. So you can certainly get into the meat of the series with this hardcover edition.
Shane said, well, I know he's thinking, like, God, I'm getting older.
Yeah. And I'm also just a little distracted. I hear sirens going off, but I can't tell where they're from.
Well, if they're not coming for you, honey, you're all right.
Well, I hope they're not coming for me, but they've been pretty consistent for like 4 or 5 minutes now.
They're coming from inside the house, though.
Yeah.
All right. The next collection is very.
Yes.
This is probably going to be my mini series of the year. Stunning artwork by Nick Marinkovich. This is Dead Romans, which I talked about in previous comic talks. Fred Kennedy doing a wonderful job, an historical tale about Roman legionaries involved in a real battle in the Germanic forests in 9 AD. This was really well done. Anyone interested in Roman history and also just great like historical action adventure, I can't recommend this enough. And the artwork is just dazzling on it.
Available on page 69 of the Image catalog, Dead Romans. And then page 70, I'm sure Murd would be mentioning.
Murd would be singing this praises, yep.
Free Man Sunday Edition Volume 2 hardcover. Collects issues 13 through 24, the Ha Ha number 6, and Ice Cream Man Quarantine Comics Special, all in one package here.
What is the premise of this book? I forgot. Do we know?
I'm
pretty sure it's like a horror related Ice Cream Man premise.
Okay.
That would make sense to me.
Because that image alone looks very creepy.
Oh,
so
definitely. Yeah. Let me see if I can find the Wikipedia entry for it real quick. The series is a horror anthology of loosely connected stories that all share the common link of a mysterious ice cream man named Rick, who, while a seemingly ordinary ice cream man, possesses inexplicable powers which he uses upon unsuspecting people. Rick's nemesis, Caleb, a man dressed in an all-black cowboy outfit, will sporadically appear in the series trying to thwart Rick's plans, sometimes successfully and sometimes unsuccessfully.
All right.
That very much sounds like something that Murd would be into.
Yeah, sure does.
It could be like Crypt Keeper with ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. Crypt Keeper, Twilight Zone, with a little bit of
a little bit of Western thrown in there.
Yeah. What's the Stephen King?
The Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower.
Yeah, that's where my brain went with the whole, cowboy chasing after him and all that jazz. Volume 2 available on page 70.
Oh.
New edition of Invincible Volume 2. Any of you haven't gotten the opportunity to check out Invincible? I still say get the Ultimate Collections if you can. They're gorgeous hardcovers.
They are nice. Yep.
And they usually collect 12 issues in one pop, but this collects issues 8 through 13 of the series, available on page 72, with artwork by Ryan Otley and Bill Crabtree, with story by, of course, Robert Kirkman. Volume 3 hardcover, available on page 73. That collects issues 97 through 144. This is the Invincible Compendium, so not what Shane would be picking up, because that is a hefty tome.
Indeed.
Neither would the Invincible Library Collection. Geez, there's so many ways to read Invincible. 24 issues in one pop here. 0 through 24, an Image Comics Summer Spectacular, an excerpt from that.
$125 before discount.
And I thought they did various Justice League titles in very varying formats, and boy, Invincible must have like 30.
Oh yeah, to say the least. Yep. Love Everlasting Volume 2, page 77. Tom King and Elsa Charretier. Issues 6 through 10 of the Love Everlasting series, available for everybody.
I read the first few issues of this. Was fantastic, but I'm going to get the trades on these. This is a book I've never read, Manifest Destiny.
I was just going to say, I was wondering if you had, Chris.
Yeah, which seems like it would be in my wheelhouse. It's Lewis and Clark in their expedition across the continent, but with supernatural elements attached. It's been around for quite a while now too. I really should try it eventually, at least the first trade.
Yeah, 10th anniversary.
Yeah, it looks great too. I like the artwork whenever I flip through it. But
here's 24 issues of it for you to check out, my friend. The deluxe edition hardcover, $60 before discount, but I'm sure discounts will probably bring it down to about 40 thereabouts.
And get it while it's hot. 5,000 copies of this first printing.
Yes, that is true. We're convincing you to buy things. Once again, page 78, volume 8 of Monsters. I really got to catch up on this series.
I do too.
Way behind, but
I'm a couple trades back. Great series.
Page 79 for that one, volume 8, and Pretty Deadly: The Shrike Vault edition on page 80. I have the first. I read the first volume of Pretty Deadly back in the day, and I really enjoyed it. Kelly DeConnick and Emma Rios on the writing and art chores there on page 80. Wow, Spawn cover gallery. Volume 1. This is a second printing, but collects the first 100 issues of Spawn's covers in one collection on page 82.
I still think the first 2 years of that was epic.
Yeah, definitely. And it's still running today. So
yeah.
Brian Marica and Jim Rugg on the artwork chores and co-creation chores of this one. Street Angel, Princess of Poverty. Harry Potter bingo F themselves. There's a new orphan badass in town. Homeless teenager Jesse Street Angel Sanchez cuts school and fights ninja gangbangers, J-horror cliches, an evil version of her future self, ancient gods, rednecks.
Jesus, take a breath.
All right. Page 4 for that. There's a lot going on here, to say the least. And a lot collected in it from the looks of it. And I'm not going to read it all because that's a lot of different books in one thing. But page 84, Street Angel, Princess of Poverty. Do check that out. Jim Rugg artwork, and it looks mighty fine. World Tree Volume 1 collected, page 93. If you're waiting to check that out, another James Tynion the Fourth book. That's collecting the first 5 issues of that, available on page 93. And it's one of Image's $10 volume 1s.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So well worth checking out. Fernando Blanco on the artwork, too, along with Jordi Belair. That's some great talent. All right. Everything else is pretty much an ongoing, so I'm mostly going to be able to skip over a decent amount of this, but I will mention Jeff Lemire's Fish Flies issue 3 on page 104. That's going to be a 7-issue mini, but do check that out, as it's both Jeff Lemire on story and artwork. And we don't get Jeff Lemire artwork nearly as much as we used to.
And we've had listeners in our forum on the Facebook page talk about The Forged.
Yes.
Like Greg Rucker, Eric Troutman, and Mike Henderson. I read the first issue, but I talked about it a while ago. It was superb.
And this includes the story arc, which means the trade will be forthcoming.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the trade because I only read the first issue, but I really enjoyed it. Really good sci-fi. Kind of had a bit of an alien feel to it in some ways, and I mean like the alien movies and some of the look of it. A really interesting book. So I'm looking forward to reading
105 for that one. Yep.
That cover for Ice Cream Man 38 is a little bit gross.
Just a little bit. Page 110. It's like army men attacking, but those are not army men. Those are people.
No, that's gross.
You don't want little men crawling out of your nostrils? Come on.
Not really, no.
In general, I'd like to avoid it. Doesn't seem like something I would want in my life. Kill Your Darlings, issue 3.
Dare I hope there's a new Lazarus?
Let's see. We're in the cave.
It's on long hiatus. No, not yet. Okay.
No. Local Man number 7, The Dry Season Part 2. Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks. Local Man, I believe, was handed to me, if I remember correctly, by Murd to check out. So if it wasn't, it is on my list of books to check out. I remember he gave me a trade when we left our wonderful meetup in Stone Harbor. But
what a retreat!
Whether something else, but we'll have more to talk about on that retreat on our next comic talk.
I was amused by some of the comments on our photo on the beach that was posted.
Ah, yes. Is this the swimsuit issue? Page 117 for that issue 7, Dry Season Part 2.
And is there a saga?
There
nope.
Is not a saga.
Nope. Okay.
It is on one of its many hiatuses at the moment. Yeah. Great cover for Savage Dragon.
Yeah.
Man. Eric Larson's still churning them out on page 125. And I think that's it for Image, because everything else is ongoings and whatnot. So
very well.
You know what? I'll point out 137, Void Rivals, issue 6. The end of that first story arc there. Robert Kirkman, the stealth release of the Energon universe.
And I know Merv would comment, the Energon universe logo is very reminiscent of the old official Marvel handbook.
Oh, yeah, it sure is.
Logo.
Yep, no question about that. Yep. Oh, next month.
Oh,
Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Where the Body Was. Look forward to talking about that. Come on.
What a tease. Oh, man.
All right.
Best team in comics.
Onward to the main catalog as I scroll very far down to get rid of all the many advertisements and previews now. To make up for the fact that they have less stuff in it, they're just going to fill it with more and more advertisements. All right. Page 34, and this was on the cover as well. Michael Dilianis, I'm going to assume that's how you...
Sans Murd, I think that's a valiant effort.
Excellent. Writing and artwork chores on this one, page 34, Zawa, number 1 of 5. As I go even further in, because the font they choose for this is dreadful. Trapped inside her mountain by pollution-spewing factories, the guardian spirit Zawa only has industrial waste to eat, leading her to a bitter existence of paranoia and destruction. When two siblings from a nearby village help her escape, they'll quickly learn that the way to calming Zawa's heart is through a well-nourished stomach. I feel like I'm getting Captain Planet vibes from this concept. Twig meets Marceline the Scream Queen from the co-creator of Wind. They had me at Marceline. So page 34 for that. Zawa, issue 1 of 5, a gem of the month. Great artwork, too. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jonan Vasquez.
Good call.
Lotus Land, issue 1 of 6. Darcy Van Polgeest and Caio Philippe bring us a dystopian sci-fi thriller from the Eisner Award writer of Little Bird, perfect for fans of Old Dog, which is
your favorite television city, honey. It's Vancouver.
Yes, indeed. Yep, Vancouver. Do you want it to look like anything? Well, we've got you. It's New York. It's Seattle. It's New York. It's Seattle. It's both in one. Vancouver.
God, he's singing. We're already coming undone.
Yep. It's been one of them weeks. Page 38 for this one here.
It's only halfway. It's only halfway over, honey.
I know. In Vancouver of the future, painted with oh God, you gotta go even further in. Ultra modern decay. It's not my eyes, by the way. It's the font. Trust me. A groundbreaking advancement in technology promises an end to entropy itself. When an attack on this mysterious keeper program threatens the lives of everyone tied to it, retired police detective Benny Strickman, good name for a police detective, called to investigate one last case. One last case stories are my favorites.
Yeah, that's always some good noir there.
Oh yeah, I'm too old for this shit. That level.
Yeah, he was in his 40s when he said that.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, now he's definitely too old for this.
Who,
shit.
Danny Glover?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was late 40s.
He was playing 50 in the first Lethal Weapon film.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And by the last Lethal Weapon film, he was near his 70s. So that's
well, supposedly they're going to make one more.
Oh my God, no!
Supposedly,
I'll watch it, but I just can't see how.
I know, yeah. And the Mel Gibson of it all. 6-issue miniseries, Lotus Land #1 on page 38. Subsequent pages have the artwork and very Michael Avon Oming. Keanu
No
Reeves
one ever says goodbye.
Whoa. Berserker Fallen Empire.
So I see that. I just think of the song in Clerks. It's
Berserker. Did you see he was selling some of his artwork online?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it like an hour ago, or else I probably would have tried to look at what he was selling. I was just curious of what he has to sell.
I think one of the things he sold was the original artwork for Green Arrow #1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that part.
Yep. Well, Berserker Fallen Empire,
at least saw a blurb about that.
Yeah, I'm sure it went for way too much money, and I would not be able to afford it. So I'm glad I didn't see it at all. Continuing the Keanu Reeves saga here, Berserker Fallen Empire #1 on page 42. A bloody window into B's past from the writer of Berserker on Netflix and co-writer of Batman Part 2. So do check that out on page 42. Cool character designs.
Yeah, very cool.
Next couple of pages to go along with it.
This is very exciting.
Yes.
The Animal Pound Ashcan. So Tom King, I mean, that's enough right away, and illustrated by Peter Gross doing their version of Orwell's classic Animal Farm.
Wow.
This is really exciting because if anybody can do justice to Animal Farm in comic form, it's Tom King.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, wow. So a modern allegory inspired by Animal Farm. I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's absolutely, worth checking out, definitely. And I mean, I literally just mentioned Peter Gross. I didn't know that he was going to come later on in this catalog, but I loved his artwork on Unwritten, and now here he is on more literary stuff. So that's well worth checking out, to say the least. On page 46, interested in the space between as well. Multi-generation spanning interstellar sci-fi tale for fans of We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Corinna Bechko and Danny Lockhart on the writing and artwork chores on page 48. Aboard the interstellar ark known as the Dodona, the populations of workers live in strictly separated social castes during the journey that will take multiple generations to complete. And everything changes, and a pilot from the upper tier named Revla falls to the lower levels and meets Les, and they must risk everything for not just themselves, but all aboard the Dodona, the space between. Great incentive cover.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm on, when you get there, I have something on page 67 and 69.
Excellent. Good. Something is killing the children t-shirt on page 53. Something is killing the children.
Maybe I'll wear that to back to school night next year.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. I'm your kid's teacher.
I'm nearing retirement.
Soft cover edition of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Necessary Evil on page. Yes, every single time. That's immediately what comes into my head. I saw Billy's coming back for the latest Power Rangers series. It's going to be on Netflix.
I heard that too. I've never watched much Power Rangers, but I did when the very first movie came out. I did go to the theater to see it. But I did hear he was coming back. Gosh, I guess it was through one of the toy forums or something. People were talking about it.
Very good anniversary special that had the old feel of original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that Netflix put out a little while ago too.
Yeah.
Page
yeah, I heard that too.
Oh yeah, page 58 collects issues 40 to 45 and Go-Go Power Rangers 21 to 26 for that saga there.
I mean, in that franchise is fairly fascinating that it just reinvents itself every year or so many years.
Agreed.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And half of them don't even like connect. You know?
Yeah.
Like, just brand new stories in the Super Sentai world, basically.
Yep.
Did we somehow miss Wild's End by Dan Abnett?
I think we might have. Or we discussed it in passing, but yes,
Okay.
This is a softcover edition of it, and it looks fantastic.
So Wind of the Willows meets War of the Worlds. I mean, this is something that I'm sure Murd would love, for example.
Yep.
A country village enjoying the peace 1930s invaded by deadly alien machines, forcing a ragtag group of survivors into hiding in the no longer storybook woods. Wow. That's enough.
Yeah. Wow.
Dan Abnett.
And it's 480 pages. For the hefty price tag of $50, but obviously discounts will be aplenty depending on where you get them from. But page 67, Wild's End. Sounds well worth it to me. Interesting concept and looks like it's excellent execution.
And then on page 69, I'm just getting older and too many distractions. Somehow Miss Jason Aaron doing a book through Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a Time at the End of the World.
Yep. You'll have to track down book 1.
It says it's available. Yep.
Excellent.
Wild's End Trade 32. Well, the hardcover 32.49.
Okay. Good.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is issues 6 through 10 of The Rise and Fall of Golganuza in Once Upon a Time at the End of the World by Jason Aaron on page 69. Nice. Giant Days, Library Edition, Volume 6 on page 72. Continuing to collect Giant Days in a giant package. 41 through 48 available, along with the 2018 holiday special, all in deluxe hardcover, page 72. And
I think that's it for Boom, right?
Indeed, that is indeed it for Boom, and we'll cover Dynamite after Marvel. So, DC. So onward we go to DC. Can the Titans save the world and their teammates?
Probably, as the crossover.
Oh God! All right.
Continues. Begins.
Titans Beast World number 1.
Well, that's written by Tom Taylor, so I'm definitely going to get that.
With art by Ivan Hayes
Yeah.
and Danny Miki. Like, come on. There's no reason not to check this out. With
how good is the new Titans book, by the way?
It's fantastic.
I haven't started it yet.
Oh,
I
Shane,
haven't
Shane,
but I
I
haven't
love
started it yet.
It's so well done.
The best Titans book in years. And
Yeah.
Shane, we said this when we were reviewing the first issue. It's also in some ways the best Justice League in years.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah. So
It's more than crap on a cracker, honey, as you would say.
Yes, indeed.
I really, really want a Justice League book back sometime.
We'll get there. Yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these Titans are in it, frankly.
I think they should. I would like to see some of them mature into that. I know Cyborg did, and Nightwing's come in and out over the years, but it would be kind of proper to me.
Yep. Well, this is the Titans' first crossover as the world's premier superhero team, with universe-shattering repercussions. Brought to you by, as we said, Tom Taylor and Yvonne Hayes. This story promises to be an epic one that sets the stage for what's to come for the DCU. Page 2 of the DCU. For that.
Looks like Starro's involved.
Yep. And I'm all about that. Titans Beast World Tour, Metropolis #1. A Superman tie-in or just a Metropolis tie-in of what's going down with Nicole Maines, Joshua Williamson, Zipporah Smith, and Dan Jurgens all involved on page 3. Livewire back in action as well.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I didn't even notice that on the cover.
Yeah. And Titans Beast World Waller Rising has Baracko Superman involved. along with Vixen. And it looks like is that Batwing in the background? Yeah, Batwing in the back there. Yep. And Black Manta on the side of good from the looks of it. Chuck Brown on the writing chores, Kieran Grant on the artwork. That has me very interested.
Was Batwing the Judd Winnick New 52 character?
Yes.
I don't know.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There were later changes to the character as to who was actually Batwing.
Okay.
Because eventually it became one of Lucius Fox's.
That's right.
Songs.
That's right.
That part I knew.
Yeah. But I think the original Batwing may have been introduced in Batman Inc., if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And then eventually had a New 52 series. But yeah, check out Beast World Waller Rising on page 4. And then issue 5, Titans.
Here's what I like about this. You have this entire crossover going. However, if you don't want to partake, you can just read Titans 5 without it being part of the crossover.
Yeah. I'm all for that.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Shane, no one utters the word however better.
However.
And it's still Tom Taylor and Nicholas Scott. Swamp Thing versus the Demolition Crew. Swamp Thing involved with Titans? Okay.
I mean, maybe it's part of it, but it doesn't say that it is. It's not in the little cheat sheet in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on that very same page, page 5, Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
Bob Haney.
Wow.
Leah Williams with artwork by George Perez, Bill Molno, and Marguerite Savage. Titans Beast World Evolution. Reprinting stuff from Teen Titans issue 5, Tales of the New Teen Titans number 3, and story from Action Comics number 1051.
All right.
Very cool.
I love when they go back to the well like that. Here's another Jason Aaron book, Batman Off-World.
Yeah.
Not just Jason Aaron, my friend.
Doug Monkey, yep.
Wow. That is a stellar team, to say the least. Routine night in Gotham City for a young Batman proves to be anything but routine when the crime fighter is confronted with a sort of foe he's never faced before, one from beyond the stars. So Batman's first interaction with at least knowingly with an alien. Batman Off-World number 1, page 6. That is it doesn't say whether it's a one-shot or a miniseries.
No, it doesn't. It just says $3.99.
Yeah, and 32 pages.
I would say it's got to be at least a miniseries with a number 1 there, but they've done that before.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Shane, you're going to love the next couple offerings.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Oh
At least the next one. I love the way that cover looks.
Oh, my God, yes.
Batman 89, Echoes number 1. Yep. Sam Hamm, who I believe was the writer of the movie, correct?
Yeah. I believe so.
Yep,
and Joe Quinones continuing his artwork chores on Batman 89 as well.
That's a great. The covers are. I'm sorry, Ian. The cover's a great riff on the classic. It was what's that?
Yeah, which issue was that?
It was first. It was in the
Detective
Golden
Comics,
Age. It
wasn't
was
it?
the Golden Age, and then was it Gothos Mansion or something like that? And then Neil Adams did a tribute to it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most famous Batman covers of all time.
Yep.
So, wow.
And I can only assume that's Harley Quinn behind Batman.
I would think so. And of course, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. After Harvey Dent's crusade against Gotham and Batman, the Caped Crusader has disappeared without a trace. In his place, ordinary citizens have taken to the streets to root out crime. As innocents get hurt, the question on everyone's mind is the same. Where is the Batman?
Never rub another man's rhubarb. I love Nicholson chewing scenery in that film. God, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Page 8 for that, and the subsequent pages with some of the artwork from it looks great.
Then he laughed all the way to the bank.
Yep.
And
Sure did.
Superman 78, Shane.
Now, I
Venditti.
actually didn't read the first 78 series yet.
I read the first issue. I didn't read past that yet, but I did enjoy that first issue. And this is going to go into as Superman become a symbol of strength and pride in America. The Soviet Union looks to crush that image with a creation of their own, built by their own might and forged by their own power. That sounds familiar. Are they making Superman 4 actually good? Like let's find out.
Well, I'm kind of thinking if they do, he better look like a Rocket Red, but I don't think it will.
Yeah,
I love the artwork.
Yep.
Nice
Yeah.
stylized versions of all the actors.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. First 2 issues of that available on page 10 and 11.
There is a lot of that through DC's solicitations, like 2 books in a month that normally don't have that.
Yeah.
If you would, Ian, go to page 14, please.
First, just for Merd's sake, Justice League versus
All
Godzilla
right.
Kong, issue 2, page 12. So
Well, 14 is for doubly for Merd's sake.
Yeah.
yes, indeed. But wowies, that looks like great stuff. And yes, you're very right. Page 14, Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night.
Jeff Parker writing.
Excellent.
The artwork's gorgeous.
Yep.
Santa Claus is coming to
Shel
town.
Bandini artwork.
And that Dan.
Look at what Superman is reading. Merd would love this.
Yeah. I saw that.
That's good.
Classic Golden Age cover. Wow.
Oh wow, and the subsequent artwork too.
Yep. Gorgeous.
Excellent. Page 16. Look at that Alexander variant cover. My oh my. Ram V's Batman Outlaw, 5-part bi-weekly Detective Comics event starts on page 16 and continues itself onto page 18 as well, as we get to 2 and 3 of that available in bi-weekly form. A new story arc for Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
19.
That ha 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 cover, that is stunning.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant.
Kind of has like a 70s feel to it. I really like that cover quite a bit.
Yeah. Also, that McFarlane action figure variant with the Bane figure breaking Batman's back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
That Batman figure that is on that cover is actually one of the better ones they've put out for Batman out of McFarlane.
Nice. Yep. Mind Bomb begins with those 2 issues on page 19.
Outsiders #1.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to this. Not just for the team, but also the team behind it. As Lansing and Kelly have been knocking it out of the park the past couple of years. Robert Carey on the artwork chores as well, as Batman Inc. protects the rest of the known world. But what of the unknown world? Enter the Outsiders for that. Great redesign for Batwoman.
Yeah.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
Love her with the short hair.
Forgive me, I'm brain farting. Is that the same writing team on the Star Trek comics?
Is indeed.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
Oh, I don't know that I would have recognized that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Wow.
I'm trying this.
And they've done other stuff for DC of late.
Yeah.
That's been terrific as well. Dick
What-
encounters an old flame. Is she friend or foe? Nightwing number 108. Tom Taylor and Stephen Byrne.
As long as Tom Taylor is scripting, I'm plunking down my money.
Oh,
Yeah, based on that shadow, I would say he did her wrong.
Mhm. I'm wondering who it is.
Yeah.
Because he was never with Deathstroke's daughter, so that's not who that is. But
It definitely looks like a pirate-ish
It says
person.
his old flame is Bea Bennett. Who is that?
Bea Bennett.
E. Bennett. I don't know. Maybe they created a old flame. Let's see. E. Bennett. I'm going to the Prime Earth here. Let's see. First appearance in 2018. Nightwing Volume 4, Issue 50. So that's where she first showed up.
That would be why.
Yep. Benjamin Percy and Travis Moore's run on Nightwing. Oh, yeah. The one that we didn't actually read for the most part, because that was basically the Dick Grayson reboot.
Oh, when was that after he got shot?
Yep, exactly. Meanwhile, better times. Poison Ivy gets 2 issues, page 23. Man, you're right about the doubling.
Oh, it's brutal this month in DC stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to read Birds of Prey number 1. I haven't gotten a chance to yet, and everything I hear about it is that it's the best Birds of Prey since
Gail Simone's.
Well, I mean, probably since what Julian Shawn I got to write.
Okay.
But yeah, it's up there with that and Gail Simone's run, Kelly Thompson so far. That's on page 24, and that has 2 issues as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing the irritation in Shane's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Batman Brave and the Bold, number 7. Gilliam March, Kyle Starks, Gabriel Hardman, and Matthew Rosenberg on the writing.
Wild Dog.
Yep. We got Batman versus Batman? What?
That's never happened before.
I know. Page 26 for that.
Wasn't Wild Dog in the Crisis crossover on television?
Oh, he sure was. Well,
So.
I can't remember if it was Crisis or the one before that. He was definitely part of the show for a couple of years.
He was on Arrow for a solid 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. I just can't remember if it was in the Crisis year or not.
Epitomized the 80s trend for vigilantes.
Yeah.
But, gents, page 27.
Very excited for that.
Mark Waid writing Kingdom Come. Dan Mora drawing it.
Wow.
Yep.
All for that.
Wow.
Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 21. All right. Speed Force number 1 on page 30. Jarrett Williams, art and cover by Danielle Di Nicuolo. And this is from the pages of The Flash as Wallace West and Avery Ho bring the Speed Force into the dawn of DC. So this will be a bunch of the Flash side characters getting their own book, which will be nice to see. And then Flash number 3 continues.
Great cover. Wow.
And amazing cover by is that the main? No, that's not even the Deodato. Is that the Deodato main? It must be. Yeah,
it's got to be.
Yep, excellent. Page 30. Deodato also did a variant this time around.
Wonder Woman.
Amazon's
I
Attack.
just got Wonder Woman number 1 like 3 days ago.
Nice.
I haven't cracked it open yet.
Yep, I'll be reading that on the app very shortly. Issue 3 of that solicited on page 31, along with Amazon's Attack issue 2.
Check out that Tony Harris variant cover.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Jane, you're home.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like looking at, is Starman in there? Is he back? What? It's amazing.
Yeah, really, really nice. And
How much is that original artwork worth?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Jeremy Adams continuing his Jay Garrick the Flash miniseries as well on page 32.
Of course, I'll be commenting on Wesley Dodd Salmon number 1 when I have that in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, and issue 2 solicited on page 33. by Venditti and Rossmo.
Doubling up, Shane. Doubling up.
Yep. Well, it's two different.
Yeah.
Two different Supermans.
No, I was thinking more the Shazam.
Oh yeah, I was getting to that too.
And Blue Beetle. And Fire and Ice.
Yep.
Oh,
boom, boom, boom.
Oh wow! Look at that Action Comics 1059 with Superman wearing a steel suit. Page 35. That's a good look for him. He's got a sword. Yep, you're right. Shazam doubles up on 37. Blue Beetle doubles up on 38. Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville doubles up on page 39.
Brutal.
Yep. I mean, that's at least a miniseries, so that just means you're getting it faster.
Yeah, getting it done quicker. Yeah. Although I have to say, in a very uncommon fashion for me, Fire and Ice #1, I was trying to track down one of the variant covers that pays homage to the Giffen DeMatteis McGuire cover. Yeah, I didn't do that yet. Everywhere I looked was sold out.
Darn. Well, how about
Someday?
Murd, where are you for page 42?
Yep. DC's "'Twas the Might Before Christmas." And all through the house, Murd was buying 10 copies. This is great. It's a lovely anthology Christmas story here with Natalie Abrams, Michael Conrad, Josh Trujillo, Ethan Sachs, Rob Levine, Shally Fish, Gillian Grant. Man,
I'm just intrigued that there's a story involving both Harley Quinn and Amethyst.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is something you don't see every day. From Constantine and Lex Luthor's Dickensian tale to Batwoman's puzzling Hanukkah hijinks.
There you go, Ethan.
There we go. Representation, baby. Representation.
I'm very excited by pages 48 and 49 when we get there.
I think we're about to get there, sir. So, by all
yeah.
It's just they're going whole hog with facsimiles. It's fantastic.
I did order the All-Star Comics one.
Well, that's come on, that's the king of important reprint issues. They remember they did the Millennium version and
they were good.
Yeah.
These are better.
The pages are better, I think, right on this
the
paper. Yeah,
I think so.
Page 40, yeah, page 48 is where you get them. One of them is Aquaman Silver Age Origin, Adventure Comics issue 260, and then, as you said, All-Star Comics #3, the first meeting of the Justice Society of America. Comics changed right there.
Yep, sure did. Then you have Batman #5.
Yep.
Doom Patrol 99, which introduces Beast Boy.
Nice.
And Wonder Woman #1.
Excellent.
From 1942.
Wow. Written by William Moulton Marston.
My dad was 2.
Page 50, Barkham Asylum. Let's just let that sink in for a minute. Barkham Asylum on page 50. Beautiful wordplay. Beautiful. Dr. Hugo Mange. And the evil warden Sharpay. Okay. This is excellent. Page 50, and great artwork on the subsequent pages, bringing home that animated feel.
I love when you're pleased.
Yep. Page 52 begins our favorite quad solicitation pages.
And the tiny print.
The final issue of the public domain's Fate Tables #2. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This just in. DC says no. So, oh boy.
That'll be a fun comic talk feature.
You better believe it. Yep. Final climactic battle for control of Halo in Wildcats #12. Also on page 52. Look at that Looney Tunes 275 page.
Fantastic. He probably has the explosive P-38 space modulator.
Yep. And Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? 125.
Great cover on the Scooby-Doo book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at it through my viewfinder.
Still $2.99. Still $2.99. Oh, Look at that cover for World's Finest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Read the first issue of that. It was wonderful.
Somni bringing it home. All on page 53. All right. Onward into the trades. We've got Christopher Priest's Black Adam Volume 2.
Yep, I got to finish that in trade too.
Page 55. And Nightwing Volume 2, Get Grayson, is resolicited here as well. And
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Actually, on the back, have you guys watched the DC?
I did not watch it yet.
I haven't watched it
I have
either.
not watched it yet.
No, I haven't yet. I haven't even watched the Stan Lee documentary.
No, I didn't watch that yet either.
I'll sit my keister down at some point and watch.
Keister. Oh, I love when you go ethnic.
All right, onward.
I'll comment on the Stan Lee when we have our next comic talk.
Excellent. Sounds good to me. Savage Red Sonja #1. Dan Panosian writing some Red Sonja. Enjoy me some Panosian.
Great Frank Cho cover.
Yep. Page 81 for a brand new #1 for Savage Red Sonja.
I don't think I've ever read a full Red Sonja story, I must admit.
No, I don't think I have either.
I mean, the Frank Thorne art from the 70s is wonderful.
I've read an issue here or there, but I haven't read the whole thing, definitely.
Negaduck!
Yes. Page 91, excellent action figure variant of that. And issue 3, solicited on page 90. Gargoyles Dark Ages #5. Once again, cannot wait to read this once it's all solicited on page 94. So we get
And Ian, I know you're very excited about the Garbage Pail Kids offer.
Yes, I am so very excited. This is my excited face. I'm moving on.
I didn't really like them when they were out in the 80s.
Hey, Dynamite's like, look, do you have a property that is not currently being published as a comic? Well, have we got a company?
Yep.
Speaking of which, Alice Cooper #2, Rodney Barnes and Edu Mena on page 107. I know we mentioned issue 1 last month. Well, now there's an issue 2 of that. And all else is mid storyline in Dynamite, I believe. But Immortal Red Sonja Volume 1 trade paperback, I'll mention on page 122.
Dan Abnett.
Yep, Dan Abnett take on Red Sonja. And on that very same page, Red Sonja Travels by Ron Mars, Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, Rick Remender, Michael Avon Oming, and Roy Thomas.
Roy Thomas.
Man.
So you got 70s stuff in there with Thomas and Pablo Marcus. There's probably some great stuff in there.
Absolutely. All available on page 122. All right. I'll set us up for Aftershock when we are done with Marvel. Are with Marvel. And it is a month for Marvel. And let's see. Oh, yes. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars featuring Disney characters on Amazing Spider-Man #37.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I do like the Pluto Hulk though.
I love the cover.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
There's literally nothing wrong with the cover. There's just wrong with where they put it. That's it.
Yeah. Put it on an Avengers book.
Hey, Disney calls the shots.
I know.
Yeah, I guess.
They call many of the shots.
Yes, they do.
Page 2, Superior Spider-Man #1. Mr. Octopus is back. And Dan Slott is writing, and Mark Bagley is on art scores.
I thought you were going to say, and Mark Bagley is arting.
Yes, he is also arting. That is very true. And a new villain from his superior past has come to roost.
So Shane, just again to make you feel even more depressed, it's been 10 years since that story.
Oh, God. Jeez. Unbelievable. 10 years.
Hey,
jeez.
Meanwhile, Deadpool 7 Slaughters #1. Writing by a whole bunch of people, including Gail Simone. Artwork by a whole bunch of people, and Rob Liefeld. 7 kills in 7 days. Welcome to a week in the life of Wade Wilson, the best mercenary Marvel's ever had. Just ask him. Cool concept on page 4 as we go through 7 different stories in 7 different days for Mr. Deadpool. I look forward to reading Gods.
Yep, we'll talk about that.
I hope it doesn't confuse the hell out of me, because Some of his more godly stuff can do that, but we'll see.
We got Battle World from Secret Wars by Tom DeFalco and Pat Olive.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Love
Yeah.
Pat Olive's work.
Yeah, this is
Untold Tales of Spider-Man. Great artist.
Yeah.
page 8. After nearly 40 years, the mysteries of the Secret Wars deepen. And by the way, that is also a reuniting of the Spider-Girl team. So we need to point that out.
Yes. Good point. Good point. Love that series. By the way, Shane, did you hear that? 40 years.
Stop it. Jeez. Twist the knife.
Just embrace the clarity of mortality.
Twist the knife.
Page 8 for that, and then subsequent pages have some great send-ups, including a homage variant cover by Ryan Stegman of the original Secret Wars.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
And more importantly, one of our covers, one of our posters.
Very true.
More importantly.
More importantly, indeed. Page 11, Spider-Gwen on tour, number 1 of 4. Melissa Flores on writing, Enid Balam on the artwork. As it's time to face the music. Mary Janes are off on a 4-city tour as the opening act to one of Earth 65's biggest rock bands. Gwen has promised the band that this big break will be all about the music. No web swinging, just drums. When a mysterious assassin targets the headliner, Gwen begins to wonder how she got this gig in the first place, featuring new versions of some of your favorite characters on page 11. I might check that out. I love the idea of them going out on tour like that, and it'll remind me of the Spider-Man movie that came out, the second of the Tom Holland movies, where he's all over the place.
Yeah.
On page 10, we get Daredevil Black Armor, number 1.
Like my least favorite period of the character.
Right. Like that's out of the blue.
Yeah.
I mean, we did get the didn't Anna Senti have a run while he was wearing the black armor?
I don't know. No, she did. She did earlier with John Romita Jr. Yeah,
got it. Okay, got it. I don't hate the costume, and I hope that the execution is just better. It's just it's very, very 90s.
Well, it's a period where, because I was reading Daredevil monthly for years, I remember it's just a period I struggled to read for the most part.
Sure.
And nothing against Mr. Chichester. I just was not a big fan of his scripting in those stories. So
perfectly fine.
Yep.
Well, that's available to you on page 12. And then,
but when we have Christopher Cantwell, who is a great writer, doing Thanos, I'll check that out.
4-issue miniseries on page 14. Luca Pizzari on the art chores. Yeah. Thanos versus the Illuminati. Done.
Cantwell.
Oh my God. And wow, look at that cover on page 15.
And wait, what character is teasing us on the next page, Ian? What did I think I just saw? Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. And
50th anniversary, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
50th anniversary.
Zdarsky.
Yep. Daniel Kibblesmith, Merritt K, and more. Artwork by Joe Quinones, Annie Wu, and more.
The Annie Wu cover is awesome.
Oh my God, it's so good.
And the Ron Lim cover with the mindless. Oh, I can't wait to read this.
Yeah, this is terrific. Yep.
Just wait till Leah Thompson shows up.
Oh, and that great cover with the cake, and the Man Thing cover in the background.
Yep, his first appearance. Oh, this is fun.
Oh yeah, excellent. And then on page 18, Thunderbolts returns.
By Kelly and Lansing.
Yeah.
In, baby.
Wow.
In. Geraldo Borges on the art chores. Bucky Barnes, the Revolution, just inherited a mountain of covert intel, and he has one objective: justice, like lightning. Teaming with the mysterious Contessa, Bucky assembles a team of Black Ops heavy hitters to pursue high-profile targets like the Red Skull, Kingpin, and Dr. Doom himself. Doom! No one is safe from the Thunderbolts. And it looks like we've got U.S. Agent involved here, Shang-Chi, White Widow, and
is that Red? Is that Red Guardian? Who is that?
Yep.
Okay,
that's what I would think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And yeah, both widows.
I'm thinking just getting ready for the movie.
Oh, it has to be, definitely.
Like that is like everybody, just about everybody in the movie.
Just about. Well, check it out on page 18. I'm into it. And then page 19. Who will be
the Sentry?
Yeah. Man, the Sentry is dead, but ordinary people all over the world are suddenly manifesting his powers. This is similar to what happened with Superman in DC a little while ago. Because I know that's how the Chinese Superman got his abilities. Was basically he got hit by Superman's powers and wound up keeping them in the end. But Jason Liu and Luigi Zangaria bring us a 4-issue miniseries, putting new lease on life to the character of the Sentry on page 19. Are you in on page 20, Chris?
Oh,
David Paposi, Dave frickin'
Wachter.
Yep.
Look at that cover.
Punisher #1.
Yeah.
So we've got Moon Knight, and I guess that's Werewolf by Night.
Yep.
On that cover, the variant cover by Phil Noto.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And the main cover clearly not Frank. So we're going in a new direction here with a new bearer of the Punisher mantle.
Well, longtime friend of the show and artist you all admire, Dave Wachter. So that's enough.
And I've enjoyed what David Paposi's been putting out there as well. Yeah, this is John Wick meets The Fugitive. It's described as. I like both of those things. On page 21.
And Shane, we have a new version of Gang War.
I know. I was just looking up to see
we
if I
both loved back in the 80s.
If I was right about this. So Gang War started with Amazing Spider-Man 284. My first issue that I picked up from a 7-Eleven across from my aunt's house was Amazing Spider-Man 283. And then each month for the next year or so, whenever we'd go over there, I'd walk across and get my next issue of Amazing Spider-Man. And it was right through the Gang War storyline.
So this is essentially a new version of that story. It looks like.
Yeah. So that was my gateway into Amazing Spider-Man, was that Gang War storyline.
This is a big event. Look at all the titles there involved.
That is a big event. Yeah.
It is, and it's all stemming into, mind you, the last issue is going to be a Daredevil issue, March 2024, Daredevil Gang War number 404. So even though this looks like it's mainly a Spider-Man event, it will conclude in a Daredevil miniseries.
Well, what I like, Ian, from looking at the looks of the listings here, is they're including many of the Marvel Street characters, which is appropriate.
Yes.
So Luke Cage, Shang-Chi, Spider-Woman, Daredevil, as you mentioned.
Shane,
I hope it's good.
Shane, you're max headrooming out on us, by the way, so you may want to turn off your.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and it has my favorite new character in it as well.
What the hell is that?
Rec Rap. It's a Peter Parker variant, essentially, like almost like a demon variant. So instead of Parker, it's Rec Rap.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yep. Zeb Wells, Ed McGuinness start us off on issue 37 there. And then we continue into issue 38 on page 25. Then Miles Morales, issue 12. Spider-Woman number 1.
Oh. Yep. Also part of the Gang War story. Shane, you going to go for this or no?
No, if I do, I'll just read it on the app. I'm not going to get all these.
Yeah.
But I am intrigued to read it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to check it out on the app. Like that's definitely happening. Steve Fox, the writer on Spider-Woman number 1. Been a little while since we've had a Spider-Woman ongoing. It's like we're going to get a brand new one here on page 27.
And I've liked most of them, and they don't last long, and then years until the next one.
Great cover for Luke Cage Gang War number 1 of 4, by the way. On page 20.
Oh, yeah.
I just need the Marvel app to make it simple, so when I want to see Gang War, I can click one button and they all just show up.
You should be able to search the word Gang War and
I'm hoping
show up. If it works the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. I'm going to hold my breath.
In the wake of the Anti-Vigilante Act. So it looks like that's what the center of this may very well be part of. Luke has been trying to save the city from behind a desk but a meeting with old friend Danny Rand reminds him of the good old days when problems could be punched in order to solve them.
Forgive me, is Luke the mayor?
I believe so.
Okay, I haven't read the last couple issues, like the last recent issues of Spider-Man or any of this. So
I love that New York has had luminaries like J. Jonah Jameson as their mayor,
Wilson Fisk.
Wilson Fisk as their mayor, and now quite possibly Luke Cage. I'll have to catch up to know for sure.
I wonder what Wilson Fisk's policy was on, like, affordable housing and.
Oh yeah, affordable housing is you're not going to afford it. Yeah.
Rent freezes.
Oh yeah, rent freezes and then unfreezes and triples. That's. And look at this cover on page 29.
Yeah,
oh, that's amazing.
Junior.
No pun intended.
Oh, good. And Wells writing that as well with Joey Vasquez on the main art chores. Wells and Ramita Jr. on issue 39 of Spider-Man on page 30. That's where Gang War officially starts, and then the subsequent issues. But that is my favorite cover.
Oh, She-Hulk.
That is my favorite cover.
Do not mess with her, man.
Now, I'll have to really keep an eye out on this. I hope, because I know DC does this on occasion when they have crossovers. You have your main title. I hope they put out a trade of all the crossover pieces, because Ben, my oldest, is reading Zeb Wells' Amazing Spider-Man in trade and loves it.
Yeah.
I would hate to have to try and track down all the issues because he won't read it on the app. I get it. He wants something in his hands. I got it.
They'll wind up putting out a Gang War trade.
That's what I'm hoping.
No, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Everything's traded, Shane.
Well, that's true.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Page 32 gives us this was solicited previously, but this is the official solicit for White Widow number 1 of 4, as White Widow is going to be involved with what's going on soon here in the Gang War as well. Page 32. And Ultimate Universe number 1. I am in on this.
Hickman.
They also announced a new Ultimate Spider-Man series.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Wow.
Which Hickman will be writing at start. Whether or not he continues on to it, we shall see. But Hickman and Caselli writing the Ultimate Universe. So far in, I can't even. So, yeah. This is going to be terrific.
Spider-Boy!
Dan Slott, cover by Umberto Ramos as the secrets of Spider-Boy are revealed.
Is that where he's supposed to have always been around but never known?
Yeah, I think he's another one of those characters. Either that or he might have been in a side dimension that was almost like ours and wound up in our
dimension. Okay.
Stanley's rolling over in his grave. He hated sidekicks.
Okay. I'm not a Carnage guy, but page 36 here, that is a damn fine cover for Carnage.
It's a terrifying cover.
Torin Grombeck on the writing chores, Perry Perez, or Perez, that is, quarter in the jar, on the artwork chores, Absolute Cassidy. Let's see what that means on page 36. Now, page 37, I wanted to point this out. This is technically, I believe, the last issue of...
Oh, really? I'm only enjoying the first trade as we speak.
However, there have been reports that have come out that have said that something is going to follow this, and then there's going to be a new Scarlet Witch series with the same creative team.
Well, what I've been reading is sensational.
Oh, yeah. It's been...
And you recommended it, and as always, you're on the money.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Page 37 has that. If it's not issue 10, then it's issue 11. That's going to be the last one. But nevertheless, it's apparently leading into something, whether it be its own, series of annuals or miniseries or what have you, and then a reboot of the series after that. So stay tuned for that, Scarlet Witch fans. And this was previously solicited in October.
That's right. We talked about this. Yep.
And resolicited here, Magneto number 4 on page 38. X-Men 28, for that matter, going along with it, with Firestar and Juggernaut on the cover.
Look at that cover. Holy mackerel.
Alex Ross is just always good.
Yeah.
Yep. Issue 9 of
God, I saw Sal posted some Shazam references, Captain Marvel references from when he and his son did it for Alex Ross. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Just amazing.
Age 41.
Well, before you hit 41, go to 40.
Yes.
I don't get why Star Wars 40 is here when there are other Star Wars books later, right? Or am I missing something?
It's exactly.
These are their previous solicitations, Shane.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I gotcha.
There was a listener on the super group that pointed out that a bunch of stuff was solicited for last month that is actually in this month's previews.
Okay.
So I think
I know you said that the last couple of things, and yet I still didn't read the blue banner at the top of the page.
Yeah, no worries. But there will not be a Star Wars 41 in this book. Just Star Wars 40. So 41
That makes sense.
is found next month in December's Star Wars section.
Okie dokie.
Meanwhile,
On to Venom.
Black Widow Venom, age 41. I love that costume.
Yeah.
That's basically
That's
all
neat.
about it. Sensational She-Hulk #2, page 43.
If Rainbow Rowe's writing it, again, your recommendation, I'm reading it in trade, but
Absolutely. Both Hulks collide, and Hulk has his Heroes Reborn hair.
God, Jen's always so fashionable, man.
I know. Plus, these
she's pointing on. Look at his hair. He looks so silly.
Did we need more Capwolf?
Yes, we did. He was a wolf.
I guess so.
He was a wolf once, Jeremy.
All right, the next thing is deeply exciting.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow.
What if Dark Tomb of Dracula #1,
written by Marv Wolfman.
Wow.
Wolfman himself,
the writer of that legendary Bronze Age series I've drooled about on the show many times. Mm-hmm. So it's Dracula and Blade. It's Wolfman. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. So the next page means we're getting a movie, right?
Page 45. I wish we were.
That would be a fun movie, probably.
It would be a fun movie. Oh, yeah. As much as I'm making fun of it, but it would be a fun movie.
Or even just as a short, like we did back in the day when
Batman
took on Predator in that fan film.
I only say that because it says 20th Century Studios in the top left corner.
I know that would be great. I've heard excellent things about spine-tingling Spider-Man so far. Saladin Ahmed continues it here on page 47, issue 2 of 4. John Romita Jr. cover.
Great cover.
Now there's a Daredevil costume we can get behind.
Yes, indeed. Don't miss Bullseye.
We're looking forward to discussing JMS's new take on Captain America.
Yeah, how about it?
Yes, indeed. I doubt he'll be walking all across America like Superman did under JMS's run. Now...
You mean she's not dead? Oh, come on.
What? You mean after all those solicits they couldn't tell us about in a couple of months? Like, wow, they finally just gave up the ghost. Now it's just Ms. Marvel, the New Mutant, Iman Vellani and Sabir Prasada on the writing chores, Carlos Gomez on the artwork chores. I don't hate her new costume. I just wish it was more her color scheme and less the training outfit. But I like that there's at least like a little bit of the Ms. Marvel.
She's got the scarf.
Yeah.
Got the bolt. Yep.
Well, why is Hawkgirl there on the bottom left? No, I'm kidding.
Well, you see, Uncanny Spider-Man continues. Release the hounds.
Do you think there's still people today, I'm just wondering, especially thinking back as a retailer, who try to buy every book?
I'm sure there are.
That's got to be.
But I think you're talking about the bigger retailers. I think you're talking about.
No. I don't mean the retailers buying every book. Are there still
just people
who are trying to read everything?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
I absolutely think there are.
And if they don't read it, then they collect it, and then they have a backlog of books that they'll never get to. Like, I don't know who I could possibly be talking about or anything.
And it's not that I wouldn't do that because it pains me every month to not buy certain things, but I'm really trying to just get what I know I really want to read and then read everything else on the app.
Money and time, yeah.
Yeah. But I
remember when I had my shop, there were people who would
Sure.
bless them. They would like certain companies. They would
Oh, yeah.
literally buy everything.
There was
absolutely.
a time. I mean, when I was a kid, I was able to do that with Marvel.
Well,
because there weren't nearly as many books.
Yeah.
But, these days, no.
Well, and they were cheaper.
Well, that too. Yeah. I like.
But it's no, for me, it's no different than toy collecting. I mean, I get all the G.I. Joe stuff, and other people get all the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I'm not
different.
criticizing it. I was just always in awe of it because I'm like, how do they find the time to? And I was reading a ton then too, but even I didn't read everything. It always amazed me.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
I'm sure there are people that do read everything, but I think there's just as many that just collect it.
Definitely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you said, no knocks or anything. It's just what you like.
I like the cover solicitation for Spider-Man's a mutant. Okay, not that Spider-Man, but we got your attention, eh?
Yeah.
And you lost it very quickly.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It's
this one here. He's a mutant. He's not Peter. Oh, okay.
It's Nightcrawler, so that's why I'm interested in it more than anything else. I'm like, okay, why not? He's cosplaying as Spider-Man. Let's see how this turns out. Great cover for Uncanny.
It is a great cover. Yep.
Yeah. Page 55. And Jean Grey number 4 for that matter.
I read one. It didn't grab me. I'll talk about that in Comic Talk. Nope.
You say it did or didn't?
Did not. It did not.
Okay. Gotcha.
X-Men 29 on page 57.
Doom.
Enter Doom's X-Men. And Invincible Iron Man 12 and 13 there.
Is that the White Queen? Is that Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. In her diamond form, I guess.
They're married now, so that's
right. They are married.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Page 59.
And that's
I'm sure that'll work out just fine.
Invincible Iron Man number 12, Avengers 60th anniversary variant cover. 60.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
We're all just cosmic dust, Shane. It's all right.
We sure are.
Great cover for Immortal X-Men.
That is a great cover. Yep.
Karen Gillan continuing that on page 62.
Facsimiles.
X-Men 142.
I saw that. I put them in my cart. I went to go check out. I'm like, nope, I can't. I already have a hardback of that. I took them out.
There we go.
Yeah, I have those facsimiles.
And on the back, look who's smiling now.
That's kind of half the fun is looking at all the old ads.
Yep.
He's a LaSalle graduate. All right.
Page 64 for those. And how about this X-Men Blue Origins number 1, the definitive Nightcrawler origin story by Cy Spurrier and Walton Santos.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. Page 65. Maybe we'll get a new lineage for him yet again.
But at least Mystique's there. I mean, she has always been part of his history.
Wasn't it like she was and then she wasn't? There was a whole mind fudge about that. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
I just always thought of her as part of.
Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic Four number 13. Great cover there by Mike Henderson. That's
the Marvel movie I still really want to see.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a big missing piece.
Way too long to get to that point.
Yeah.
Do you see this solicitation here? 2 universes, human and dinosaur, are colliding. That's okay. You got me. That's
Doomasaur.
God. It's so absurd.
See, now that kind of absurdity I'm okay with.
That's great. Of course, it's Dr. Doom riding a dinosaur that's armored.
Well, I really think that's Doomasaur.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Doomasaurus Rex. That's
yeah. Yep.
Page 75 brings us Marvel Voices Avengers number 1, featuring a mighty fine list of creators, from veterans to new recruits. 4 tremendous tales of Earth's mightiest heroes. Page 75.
Levy Pooh, I got to point out, you really restrained yourself in that whole Doomasaur riff. I was.
Hey. Sometimes you just got to let Doomasaur roll.
All right. I thought we were going to get 10 minutes at the cocktail hour with that one. Holy
No one roars at Doom.
There we go. Is this Marvel catalog longer than normal? It, like
it sure feels it.
Holy mackerel.
It's heavier. It feels longer.
Well, it's because of all the resolicitations they had to do, which is frustrating.
That was only a couple pages.
Star Wars Vision's Peach Momoko #1. As Peach Momoko brings her unique storytelling to a galaxy far, far away on page 88. That looks beautiful.
I am so far behind on Star Wars books, it's not even funny. There's just too many of them now. I mean, it is really catapulted.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that.
All right, that first hardcover. So this is great, wacky Kirby 70s Captain America. So you've got 193 to 214. So that I think that includes Mad Bomb, that story. Yeah, it does. The Mad Bomb saga.
Oh,
so
Mad
it's
Bomb.
just what's great about these stories is that Kirby comes back to Marvel in the mid to late 70s, and they basically let him do what he wanted. So he just ignored Captain America's continuity, did his own stories. They're really fun and trippy. Now that's a great Daredevil omnibus right there.
Yeah.
This is the totally whacked out Bronze Age Daredevil. If Steve Gerber's writing some of these stories, you know it's not going to be your granddaddy's Daredevil, for example. These are so much fun. You got the great Black Widow team ups, Jerry Conway, Gerber, Gary Friedrich, Englehart, Gene Colinar, Don Heck, Bob Brown. Really fun stories from the 70s. Like he fights all kinds of wacky villains. Moon Dragons there. It's great stuff.
And not that I was going to get the omnibus, but when you're looking at these 2 pages, you're talking about March and April of 2024.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yep.
Even the next pages. Wow.
Please. Yeah. On
I
sale
think
April 2024.
Yeah. There's a Brubaker Lark Daredevil omnibus in there too. Wasn't there? Any? If you go back one page, please.
Let's see.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Phenomenal run.
Yeah, page 100 for that one. Volume 2 hardcover. New printing, so it has been printed before, but this is omnibus volume 2 of that Brubaker Rucka.
The Bendis Brubaker Rucka Daredevil, like that period of years, it's pretty much flawless. I love that period.
Wolverine Omnibus Volume 5 on page 101, continuing the Larry Hama years, along with some Anna Senti, Howard Chaykin, Howard Mackey, Ostrander in there, Jeff Loeb, Scott Lobdell, a whole bunch of others. Pencils by Adam Kubert, Churchill, Wagner, Garney, J.H. Williams III.
The 100th issue, was that the one when Magneto ripped out the adamantium with that hollow cover?
That was in Wolverine 75.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
that
think
was the hollow cover.
I think 100 may actually be where he gets it
back. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was it Apocalypse that gave it back to him, if I remember correctly?
Who remembers?
Can't remember.
It's been gone. It's been back. It's.
I'm pretty sure that's.
Then he was like a little nub, and he reconstituted himself. So
I'm pretty sure that's what led to Wolverine becoming Death. So I think.
Sure.
I think. That is, but yeah, page 101. If you've never checked out Hickman's Ultimate Marvel run, this is a great place to check it out on page 102. Jonathan Hickman and Sam Humphries on Ultimate Marvel was basically the precursor to him writing Avengers, and it's why he's writing the Ultimate comic right now. And with pencils by the late great Carlos Pacheco, Rafa Sandoval, Asad Ribic, Brandon Peterson, Luke Ross, and more. Well worth checking out.
I remember Ultimate Thor being especially good, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, Ultimate Thor was a pretty interesting take on the character.
I think I only read the Ultimates. I don't think I ever read Thor.
Well,
and most of the others.
Thor didn't have his own series or anything, or he may have had a mini series, but whatever they did for him in the Ultimates themselves was always interesting.
But that mini series with Thor, I just recall being quite good.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Clobber in Time by Steve Scroce, available for you on page 104. And then Marvel Masterworks Incredible Hulk Remasterworks 105.
Remasterworks. That's funny.
Oh, Inferno.
Yep. Good
and
stuff.
Even the next one, the cover for the Black Widow Masterworks. I like that.
Yeah, Spider-Woman.
Gorgeous.
Yep, page
Spider-Woman.
7. Yep. All right, I think that's about it, but let me see if there's anything hiding on the bottom here.
Classic black light set, no cards.
Go back to that.
Yes.
Go back to that.
112.
Okay, I had a couple of these that I got at shows.
Yeah.
These are awesome.
Did you actually get a black light for them?
No, but since
Okay.
I bought the reproduced posters, which
Mhm.
3 of which I framed in my basement office. I'm definitely getting this too.
Oh yeah,
There's some fantastic images in that.
there really are. Yep. And one more epic collection for us. That I
Oh, great X-Men stuff. The Brood Saga. Oh, Ian, look at that.
Yep, absolutely. Page
Those
one.
are classics. Oh,
Yeah.
Claremont, Cockrum, Paul Smith.
Paul Smith's art in these stories especially is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I may pick that up actually.
Secret Wars 2, new printing.
Oh yeah, watch
122.
Watch the Beyonder learn how to pee.
See the Beyonder, experience 80 shoulder pads. Yes.
Good stuff.
Ooh, what's that Black
Marvelous.
Panther book? Go back. I'm sorry. Go back a little bit.
Sir.
Ooh.
Marvel Masterworks Black Panther Volume 2, very last thing in the book, page 125.
So this is a great Silver Age and early Bronze Age stuff. His appearances in Avengers, Daredevil, Astonishing Tales, good stuff. Very good stuff.
It's almost the last thing. Look, we got posters next.
Oh yeah, posters. Yeah, how about that? Okay, they're posters. Okay, now we're done.
Now we're done.
Excellent.
Gentlemen, I got to leave in about 15 minutes. I apologize, but
Yep, no worries. We know duty calls.
well, I have to sit as a teacher. I have to sit down and watch some of the finest examples of American politicians
So you're watching the West Wing.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
in an alternate fantasy reality. Yes.
Let's do side effects on page 130 real quick. Ted Anderson, Tara O'Connor, new printing available starting October 2023. I've been wanting to check this out, and this might be my opportunity to do so. A personal story about mental health and what it takes to find yourself again. Well worth looking into on page 130 out of
And considering the mental health crisis in the United States, a timely book to say the least.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then Steve Orlando and Steve Fox's Rainbow Bridge.
Great cover.
132 as well. As Andy and Rocket grew up together, and then Andy finds him on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge.
I don't know if I'd want to read that.
It's a young adult graphic novel.
Nothing is more gut wrenching sometimes than losing. I mean, like losing a dog or a pet.
Oh,
so I loved my mom and dad dearly. However, when I was 18, just graduated high school.
They didn't make you take the dog to be euthanized, did they, Shane?
No. I had a cat. His name was Mittens, and I was working at the gas station up the road. And I got woken up. I started work about 10, 11 o'clock usually. And I got woke up about 8:30, 9 o'clock and thinking it was mom just making sure I was awake. No, it was mom saying, okay, go say goodbye to the cat. We're taking him. I'm like, oh, what? Wait, what? Now the cat was old. Mittens was having a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And it really was better. But I would have liked a little more warning. In like 10 minutes.
Jesus.
They thought it would be better. Mom thought it
would.
Even at 18,
they're ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, they were ripping the Band-Aid off. It probably was better in the end. However,
he's still traumatized at age 51, folks.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Meanwhile, Aftershock on page 36, a story all about fitting in, fighting ghosts, and forming friendships with other misfits, especially when you're a misfit yourself. Richard Ashley Hamilton on the writers, Marco Matrone on this one. This looks like
falling apart.
I was wondering why you were changing your voice like a teenager.
Oh my God.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. No, but seriously though, this looks like it's going to be a much more less traumatizing book.
Yeah.
Out of Aftershock on page 136, and it's an original young adult graphic novel, so it's all there in one shot, which is nice to see. Pass that on to Titan.
I just want to mention again, probably my best new series of the year. Conan is phenomenal. I really don't want to. I'm not being hyperbolic. It is an amazing book so far. The just the craftsmanship in this comic.
Yeah,
I'm going to rave about it every month. It's amazing.
This is issue 5. Begins a brand new Conan arc on page 142. So if you want to just jump in here and then catch yourself up, you can certainly pull that off.
Roberto de la Torre's artwork is just breathtaking.
Yep, I love that Deodato cover on as cover A here. Great image. Volume 1 is solicited on page 144,
and I will definitely be adding that to my library.
Chris, I'm curious. Are you going to check out The Agent?
Where
I
is
know
that?
if your love of James Bond, it's oh gosh, 164 from
60.
A Blaze.
Let me check that out.
I missed that. Let me take a look.
Well, you know what? Yeah, let me go straight to that actually, because everything else is kind of the in between stuff at the moment. Yes, here we are. The Agent, number 1.
Oh, there's a QR code to preview.
Yep, by Matthew Gabella and Fernando Dagnino. For some, magic is a myth. For others, it's a weapon. What if witchcraft really existed? If our beliefs, superstitions, and legends were material? This is what Rim, a young narcotics lieutenant, must question when she finds herself confronted with the impossible. While staking out a subway deal, a suspect magically kills his informant and drives the entire station into madness with just a handful of weed. Rim miraculously escapes unscathed. She's unaware, but she is a witch, and that fact arouses the interest of a very particular unit of the French Secret Service.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Madness.
Look at that Steranko tribute cover.
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
Yep. Page 164 for that. Yeah, this looks fascinating.
Yes, Shane, I will definitely try this.
Nice.
All right, before I go, I have to talk about Tomorrows for a moment, as always.
Okay.
How far down is that, sir?
It's page 388.
388. Remembering on page 166. There we go. 388.
I appreciate the indulgence, my friend.
Worries? I think
okay, there you go. So, first of all, comic book creator number 33 is dedicated to the career of Steve Gerber, who died, quite a few years ago now. But I'm so looking forward to this because he's one of the most singular voices in comic scripting. I mean, obviously Howard the Duck is what he's most known for, but all the other characters he did, his battle for creator rights with his Destroyer Duck comic, he teamed up with Jack Kirby, Omega, the Kiss comic. I mentioned his wacky Daredevil stuff. I love his work, and I'm really looking forward to that issue, comic book creator number 33. And above that, back issue 149, 80s Indies heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember characters like Aztec Ace, Megaton Man, Whisper, Zot. So that looks like it's going to be a fascinating issue as well. And then finally on the next page, Jack Kirby Collector 89. So in the Kirby Conspiracies issue, we'll skulk through Palace Intrigue and Darksword's Fourth World regime, the too many attempted overthrows of Odin and Asgard, we discover Jack Kirby and Joe Simon Swipes, and the many contradictions of Kang. And then frustration seeing the Inhumans on TV and the Eternals in theaters. Okay.
Wow.
So definitely checking that out as well.
Excellent.
Brothers, love and honor.
Via con Rios.
Good night, my friends.
Au revoir.
Ciao.
All right. I had a few further up that I wanted to point out, and Shane, feel free to stick with us as long as you can, and then when you need to bounce, no worries, I can finish it out.
Yep, I've got a little bit more time.
Excellent. Page 166. This is just like everything for me right here. Osamu Tezuka's Shakespeare manga theater. Over the course of his legendary career, Osamu Tezuka created many manga inspired by Shakespeare's works. Shakespeare Manga Theater collects 3 creative adaptations into 1 volume. Book includes the following: The Merchant of Venice, Romeo and Robiette, Macbeth, The 3 Fortune Tellers, Hamlet, The Taming of the Shrew, and Othello. I mean, for a manga mastermind like Tezuka to put this together, and a Blaze to put it to then release it, I'm very interested in it. Page 166. They're closing our Shakespeare in the Park Theater for a year to renovate it, so I'm going to go with free Shakespeare for a year or so.
Well, I'm glad you just didn't say that they were closing it.
Well, yes, exactly. Yeah, they're renovating it and bringing it back, because that's one of the highlights of Central Park during the summer is sitting your butt down and watching free Shakespeare.
That would be really cool. Page
171, Zero Calcare's The Armadillo Prophecy. This is a debut original graphic novel It's a story of how he coped with learning too late that a dear friend from his childhood has died, all while a giant armadillo represents his imaginary consciousness. And this looks like season 1 of Xenoclair's original animated series, Tear Along the Dotted Line, debuted worldwide on Netflix in 2021. 2 is premiering on 2023, and this is by the same creator. Only now it's graphic novel time, and it looks interesting on page 171. It's going to be a little bit of a truncated back of the book this month for those of you listening, as we're going to try to get through as much of this as possible here. But page 184, Let the Bad Times Roll, The Offspring by Josh Trujillo and Gary Gastani. A Day of the Dead slasher adventure set to the rollicking rock and roll of punk royalty, The Offspring, on page 184. That's pretty cool. They've been doing more of that lately, I feel like, where they've been taking rock and roll bands and making comics out of their stuff.
Sure. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but they did that quite a bit in the 80s and 90s, especially the 80s, I thought, with rock and roll bands getting featured in comic books.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Kiss, to say the least. I mean, Kiss.
Well, yeah,
Kiss is still doing stuff today, but yeah, there was Bowie stuff. There was I'm sure there was Rolling Stone stuff. Like, yeah, it was all over the place. Quested trade paperback, volume 1, available for you on page 188. Collects issues 1 through 6 of that new series, as volume 2 is coming soon. So you check that out.
I'm curious on right there. You just passed it. Basic Instinct. I don't know that I would have ever thought of this to be transformed into a comic book based on the movie.
Which is funny because I just watched this for the first time not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never seen it before, and I finally sat my butt down. I think I watched it on Paramount, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But
what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It's it's noir in a lot of ways, and that's why I feel like it could transfer over into comic books, well enough.
When I first saw it, I thought it was a sequel or what comes next, but it kind of says based on a book adaptation based on the movie.
Yeah, that seems like we're exactly what we're getting on page 191. 4-issue miniseries. I'd rather read it collected, to be entirely honest with you, because
well, I won't disagree with that.
Yeah, but then there's also American Psycho on page 192, which I remember us mentioning last month, if I remember correctly. But this is the killer comic from the Sumerian continues as we get further along the American Psycho route of things on page 192. Also talk about something that I never be a comic book, and yet there it most definitely is.
Yeah.
All right, we are in Dark Horse officially. Still not used to it being here in the book, but
no, me either.
David Dasmalkian and Lucas Kettner bring us Count Crowley, Mediocre Midnight Monster Hunter #1. Great name. On page 202. A dead werewolf would have made Jerry Bartman feel victorious just a few days ago, but this deceased beast was her friend, and our beloved monster hunter is shocked and depressed. The return of her predecessor brings no consolation, and now there's a ghoulish child snatcher on the loose in Bellois. Holly Halloween, Count Crowley. How about that? Things are a bit batty. You check that out. Mediocre Midnight Monster Hunter #1 on page 202. Killer Queens continues its second series on page 203. Check that one out as well.
I like the look of Space Usagi.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, Death and Honor #1. Both of those covers are terrific. But it's Usagi Yojimbo in space.
And Stan Sakai's writing it, so it'd be worth taking a look at.
Wouldn't want anybody else writing Usagi Yojimbo at this point, but that's worth checking out. And so is Quick Stops 2 by Kevin Smith and Ahmad Rafat on page 2 as well. Sexy, sensational origin of the Askewniverse, Sacred Cow, movie The Golden Calf. Love me some Askewniverse. They're collecting Drifters in full graphic novel. That was the series that came out after Kota Hirano was done with Hellsing. So
Okay.
that's a full graphic novel omnibus of a manga series. That's worth checking out. On page 206.
On 210, they have solicited Dungeons and Dragons Saturday Morning Adventures. I wanted to get it. I can't add it to the cart. It's already too big, too large for my pocketbook this month. But that's going on a list so I can get it at some point.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no doubt about that. And that's the full trade paperback of
Yep.
Dragon
1
Saturday.
through 4.
Yep.
Is that how many there were?
I believe so. Yeah, David Boer and Sam Maggs on the writing chores for that. On top of that, there was Dungeons and Dragons Library Collection, Volume 1, on page 209, collecting a bunch of the IDW Dungeons and Dragons comics that have been coming out over the past couple of years that are worth checking out. And what else from... yes, I'm sure Murd will be mentioning Godzilla, Best of Gigan, #1, by Various and James Biggie. New Godzilla 1 miniseries starting up there on page 210. Everything else is mid-series in IDW, so I think I'm just going to skip most of it outside of mentioning that the hardcover edition of Star Trek Defiant by Cantwell.
Yep.
Solicited on page 212.
And the second volume for Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I was freaking out because I didn't necessarily look at previews when I did my order last night. I was just searching on names and I'm like, where's Defiant? Where's Defiant? All I see is this hardback. There's no issue. And then finally looked it up. I'm like, nope, no issue.
Yep, no issue, just the hardback for now. But
and I'm holding off on Star Trek Picard's Academy and Strange New Worlds. I'm just going to stick with the Star Trek and Defiant for now.
Fair enough. How about this for the Disney fan out there on page 216? The Art of Walt Disney, from Mickey Mouse to the Magic Kingdoms and Beyond.
Oh, I'm sure that's neat.
Oh, it's fantastic. This was originally published in 1973.
Wow.
This is an updated version celebrating 100 years of wonder at Disney, with a lot of never before seen artwork, behind the scenes pieces, and comprehensive history and tribute to the career and legacy of Walt Disney on page 216.
There's some going along with the 100-year anniversary theme. There's quite a few Lego sets that are really neat that they've put out for the 100-year thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've seen a bunch of them. I went to the Lego store when I was in Disney Springs.
Oh, nice!
They had a whole bunch of excellent sets available.
Did they still have the Hulk out? The big Lego full-size Hulk.
They didn't have a full-size Hulk. They had a full-size Spider-Man this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I came in front of a window built entirely out of Legos, so you could stick your head through the window and take a picture with Spider-Man.
Nice.
218 for Jamie's sake. Strangers in Paradise Volume 2.
I put it on my list.
Nice. And Terry Moore After Dark art book also available on that same page.
That's kind of interesting. I've gotten some of his art books before, and they're gorgeous to look at, and going through motions and styles for everything. That to me, that would be really interesting.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the Christmas Story leg lamp. That's hilarious.
They also have the Sip Kids collected edition.
That was a lot of fun to read.
Yeah, on page 220 as well. Whole lot of Terry Moore for you this month.
Yeah.
And then, over at Ahoy Comics, the other Moore, Stuart Moore. Captain Ginger, The Last Feeder, #1. 2-issue Ahoy Anniversary Special. The wonderfully entertaining series combining all the tropes and trappings of serious sci-fi with ridiculousness of cats being cats, as we get Captain Ginger, The Last Feeder, #1 by Stuart Moore. Now they also solicited on that same page is the Volume 1 of Captain Ginger and Volume 2 of Captain Ginger, if you want to catch yourselves up in time for the new stuff. Applause has A Disturbance in the Force. How and why the Star Wars Holiday Special happened.
Wow, I missed that.
Yeah, page 229. Huh. This is a reference book, and it's all about the behind the scenes insanity that led to the Star Wars holiday special that George Lucas wishes you didn't know exist. That thing is crazy.
Which I think is a shame. I mean, it is crazy in a lot of ways, but it's still part of my childhood.
Oh, sure.
So I have a bootleg copy that I think Matt got a hold of at one point.
You can still find it on YouTube. Like they don't.
Well,
they stopped trying to take it down at this point. So
yeah, you can now. Back, gosh, it has to be almost 20 years now. He was over at the house and brought it over for us to watch.
Nice. But yeah, worth checking out if you want to get more information on that. And then on that same page, The Life and Times of Betty Boop, the 100-year history of an animated icon. 100 years of Betty Boop. Damn.
Phew.
Page 229 for that.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, that's the Josie Anniversary Spectacular OS by Tom DeFalco and Various on page 232.
I prefer Pussycats in Outer Space. That side of the cartoon.
Nice. All right. Let's go down further into AWA. See if they have anything. They have a couple of ones, but nothing that really caught my eyes. So I'm going to head further into the book. Onward, we go to Band of Bards from the Static on page 248. This is a horror anthology of 17 individual stories exploring the theme of horror from many different angles. Fast-paced and gory, slow psychological, lighthearted and funny, climate collapse, and more. Available for you on page 248. Love a good anthology, and this one's horror. For the pantsers of the world on page 250.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yep. We have both Doctor Who, 10 Days of Christmas, Festive Tales with the Doctor.
With the 10th Doctor.
Yeah,
that's important.
You are very right with the 10th Doctor. An anthology there. And then on that same page, Whotopia, the ultimate guide to the Whoniverse. Good timing.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Doctor Who comes back with the 14th Doctor who looks very familiar.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I can still remember watching it as a kid on PBS.
Oh my God.
Back in the 80s, I got the Doctor Who technical manual at Walden Books.
Nice. That was all God, Walden Books. That was all available on page 250 there. I had a Walden Books in my mall. 255, Hexpaw, Left Paw of the Devil by Trevor Marquardt. Colt Brass is Hexpaw, Master Thief, and Steve McQueen fanboy. When aroused, he transforms into a savage 6-foot black cat and robs from the rich and evil. Doing the arousing is his mastermind partner in crime, the witch, Ms. Blunderbuss.
Okay.
That is a very Japanese premise, and I approve of it.
Wow.
Very Ranma 1/2 there on page 255. And Savage Pulp, I'm sure Chris may have missed this, but Jorge Zavalios brings us a metropolis masked by a beautiful red veneer of good fortune. It covers the grotesque well, secrets, deep-seated vices, a ethereal graveyard buried with the naive dreams of those who fell prey to its deception and took a bite. Order is decomposing. Welcome to Savage Pulp. It is both pulpy and savage. Page 256. Bring it down a bit more here to Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Child by Jeffrey Brown.
Yeah, that looks cute.
So much. Yes. Jeff Brown, of course, known for Darth Vader and Son.
Mm-hmm.
Now bringing us more in the Star Wars universe with Mandalorian Child on page 266.
Yeah, I love all his books.
Oh yeah. Show me the baby. I want to see the baby. Right. We're heading into Devil's Due. Spotlight on Mercy Sparks. No More Angels Left to Fall one-shot by Josh Blaylock. Keeping the Devil's Due name alive with
wow.
his further stuff after all these years. How about that on page 278? then a Percy Jackson graphic novel. There's a new Percy Jackson series coming out on Disney Plus soon.
Yep, I just saw the trailer for it yesterday. Yeah, just before Ahsoka.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm surprised that they're starting back at the beginning and telling everything again from the start.
I'm not exactly surprised because I don't think enough people saw those movies.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't.
And
even if they did, how many years ago was that now?
Exactly. And they're going to want it to be as new as humanly possible.
Yeah.
284 out of Distillery. Becky Cloonan. Somna #1. Like, you got me at Becky Cloonan. I mean, she's one of the best creators in comics, period. And Tua Lote along with her as well, as they're drawing a creator-owned project together for the first time amidst the terrifying backdrop of the witch hunts in a quiet 1500s English village. Somna follows one woman's descent into an erotic escape from the confines of her puritanical world. Somna #1 by Becky Cloonan and Tua Lote, page 284.
That's neat. On 286, there's a picture of him.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Meet the creators.
Yeah.
Great artwork all around for that. Wow. Look at that Return of Superman 30th anniversary special, the dynamic.
Yeah, that's a neat cover.
Yep, good stuff. Let's go to the Atlas Artist Edition Volume 1. Joe Maneely featured item out of Fantagraphics on page 300. This is the first book in Fantagraphics' new Atlas Artist Edition series, collecting the best works of Joe Maneely, Marvel's top artist of the 1950s. Full color, oversized collected volume, scanned from the original printings and restored with a wealth of detail never before seen. Mad style humor, westerns, funny animals with equal dexterity, and more here. Very, very cool that they're doing this on page 300. I love any of those collections.
Sure.
And Peanuts, collecting Peanuts, continuing to be Peanuts, long after Peanuts stopped being Peanuts on page 3.
Yeah. 307 has a couple, it's not necessarily comic books, but little golden books, The Beatles and the Bee Gees.
Very nice.
Cracked me up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I see that there. And an Oprah Winfrey little golden book underneath that. Very cool.
Yeah, the Bee Gees one made me laugh a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely. Power Button, Volume 1, on page 309 by Zach Soto. Truly's parents are arguing all the time, so they dropped her off at her aunt and uncle. Her cousin Kaz has a big imagination, but he's not the best at making friends. Maximo Skuldig gets bullied by his older brother, and now he has to conquer Kaz and Truly's home planet. It's a good thing Kaz and Tully just uncovered a family secret, and they go from there. Jump into the imagination, to say the least, with Power Button Volume 1, The First Invasion, on page 309. Courage to Dream, Tales of Hope in the Holocaust by Neil Shusterman. This is a National Book Award winner who's presenting a graphic novel exploring the Holocaust through surreal visions and a textured canvas of heroism and hope.
Wow.
The Dream explores one of the greatest atrocities in modern memory, delving into the core of what it means to face the extinction of everything and everyone you hold dear. Heavy, heavy stuff here, but I'm sure
Yeah.
Chris will check this one out for sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
On page 312. Once again, Courage to Dream, spotlight out of, I believe, Graphics with an X. And speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, Slaying the Dragon, The Secret History of Dungeons and Dragons by Ben Riggs.
Oh, wow.
Another reference book there going into the behind-the-scenes story of how Dungeons and Dragons became a thing on page 330.
It's been, I can't tell you how many years since I played Dungeons and Dragons.
I play close to once a month. I've had a game running for about 3 years now.
Wow.
With some of my friends, Raph included.
That's cool.
And so we try to get together at least once a month to do it.
How many hours do you do it for?
We do it in smaller sessions.
Okay.
We do it on a Monday, so it'll probably run from maybe 8 p.m. to about 11ish, and and then we'll break it up into. We try to do every 2 weeks, but when we don't, it's at least once a month.
Yeah.
But I play a healer character who's known as Hilar.
Who's the DM? Just another friend?
Just another friend of ours. My longtime friend Austin has been DMing for us for a while now, and
That's awesome.
Does a really good job of it.
I always hated DMing. I wanted to play the characters.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I don't think I'd ever actually have enough time to do it myself.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like at times I'm pretty creative, but I don't know about DMing long term. That's like you said, that's hard.
Yeah, because you're not just working off of a sheet; you got to work off your own stories as well, and intertwine them.
Yep.
326, Mark Twain's "The Man That Corrupted Hadleyburg." Another adaptation of a short story by Twain into graphic novel form on page 326 out of Humanoids. I like that they do that.
Yeah.
Did you see the most recent Lower Decks?
Did I? Yes.
Speaking of Twain.
Yes, I did. Oh my God.
I do declare, sir.
Well, that's my outfit.
That was so good.
Oh God, I love that show. There can't be many more of those left this season.
I think there's at least 4 or 5 more.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Because the season's still, gotta have at least halfway to go.
I just saw Futurama ended, and I didn't realize what I watched on Monday was the last episode already for that season.
Really, I didn't notice that either. Oh, man.
Yeah, I caught an article on Facebook. It's like Futurama season finale. I'm like, what?
Well,
I was looking forward to another episode.
That has been renewed. It's been an up and down season of that. I could talk more about that comic talk, but like there have been some episodes I've liked. There's been other episodes that felt like they were trying to be a little too modern. With their stuff.
I agree.
Since you mentioned the Bee Gees earlier, page 331, Pixies of the 60s. We can work it out.
Oh, that's funny.
Second volume in the Pixies of the 60s anthology series says Great Britain in the swinging 60s. The Beatles are taking the music storm. The pop culture revolution has gripped the nation's youth, and humans and fairies live uneasily side by side.
That's funny.
That much didn't happen in our reality, but
no, it didn't.
Page 331 for that.
Art looks nice.
Art looks very nice, yeah. Let's go on to Christmas with the Grubs by Max Weaver out of Keen Spot Entertainment, 341. Now an animated show starring Jerry O'Connell, Will Wheaton, Jodie Sweetin, Jaleel White, Felicia Day, Jason Marsden, and Debbie Derryberry. I didn't know about that. Okay.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, but the year is 1985. And all that Billy Grubbs Watson wants for Christmas is one simple thing, a golf cart. And to have any chance of getting his dream gift, they'll have to do one simple thing, be good. For town troublemaker Grubbs, that's anything but simple.
God, you had me at Jerry O'Connell and Will Wheaton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let alone the other ones. I mean, I know Jodie Sweetin, Jameel White, Felicia Day, James Marsden.
Yeah, those are all
Debbie Dewberry. Yeah,
that's thing down. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Let me see.
No, me either.
Grubs.
Hopefully it says coming 2023 Christmas.
Okay, so there was a unaired television series, but that's clearly not this. So interesting. All right, well, I'll find out more on it when I can get to it. But yeah
now an animated. Yeah, that's got to be coming out for this Christmas.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Well, I will find out more about that at a later time. There we go. Yep, I see it now. Don't know where it's airing, but I did see that it does have an IMDb listing.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's move. Oh, love that Jaws homage cover there, page 3.
The toy.
Oh my God. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Also, Nightmare on One Sheet. The horror Graham Humphreys hardcover, also on 342. Moving further down. Eden Frost, #1. After losing their parents in a program, teenage siblings Alex and Yuli use the mystical powers of a golem to survive the chaos of the Russian Civil War. In a harrowing journey through war-torn Ukraine, the duo will face the harsh reality of warfare, ethnic bias, and national pride as they fight for their own place in the world.
Wow. And not to make light of things that are happening in the Ukraine, but that picture looks like M. Bison from Street Fighter.
Yes, it does. Whether intentional or not, I can certainly see the resemblance there. Yep. 346, terrific artwork on the following.
Oh yeah,
very, very well realized.
Yeah.
Down here, past all that jazz.
And all that jazz.
New York Review Comics, Ninja Saratobi Sasuke. This is a kid's comic. In the early 1960s, the Japanese manga artist Shigene Sugiuri took the well-loved literary character Ninja Saratobi Sasuke and made him his own. The legendary gag manga, Ninja Saratobi Sasuke, Shigeru sends the famous ninja on a wild, eye-popping adventure as he encounters cowboys and aliens, spaceships, and sailing ships, mid-60s celebrity cameos, and more.
That looks fun.
That does indeed look like a good time. Page 357 for that. And right underneath that, if you've never checked out Hilda and the Fairy Village, I've watched a bit of the Netflix series, and it's absolutely adorable.
No, I didn't see that.
Good, well worth your time. Like a really well done Cartoon Network show, only it's on Netflix.
Okay.
This is the hardcover series that it was based on, the original graphic novel.
Well, I'm not opposed to that. I watched Disenchantment on Netflix.
There you go, and that's really good too.
Oh, that's awesome.
357 for that. Moving further down to Born Driven on page 362, based on the true story of the first African-American NASCAR champion, Wendell Scott. Uplifting tale celebrating the power of persistence and big dreams. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, adorable artwork on the cover there.
Oh, even look down at the next page on 363.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I appreciate the hell out of that. And then just in time for the return of Rick and Morty, Mixie's PI. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. I'm solving things.
I have to watch that. I've never. My oldest boy has watched all of it, but I have not watched it at all.
I enjoy it a lot. It is also one of those series that like you think it's not really going to have a story, and then by the time season 1's over, you know what that it's going to, and then it just builds upon there. So it's a lot.
He loves it.
Yep. Page 364 for that.
Okay. 368. Panini UK. I always enjoy seeing the Doctor Who, the Fourth Doctor anthologies and reprints come out of that.
Yeah, with artwork by Dave Gibbons.
Oh yeah, they're gorgeous.
Oh my god!
I had some of the individual issues back in the 80s. I want to say it was the 80s.
Very cool. Right on top of that, by the way, the 2024 yearbook is to obviously by the time this comes out, it will have aired, but it will go into the events of 2023, and Niyoti Gatwa, our new Doctor, born to him. And there's a Doctor Who Liberation of the Daleks series by Alan Barnes and Lee Sullivan.
Yeah.
On the next page, 369. 13 Doctors era ends. Liberation of the Daleks is the 14th Doctor's first official adventure.
Oh, okay.
I think it was originally in the Doctor Who magazine before it was collected.
That would make sense.
Almost back down to where Chris was at this point. Let's see if anything's out of Scout that's worth checking out. Most things are mid storyline. But I will mention Ghosts on the Water by Ben Goldsmith. In the Maori culture, water is life and death. Watch how Mad Mac grows to power so that he may find the brother he lost to that water and the secrets hiding behind the storm. Page 377 for that. Ghosts on the Water. Okay. Duel graphic novel. Another kids comic, page 382. Looks like it's going to be a fun one. As sixth grader Lucy loves fantasy novels and is brand new to middle school, Gigi is the undisputed queen bee of eighth grade. They've only got one thing in common: fencing. And they will join forces in their love of fencing from there and become unlikely friends, because that's the way these things work. Jessica Bagley and Aaron Bagley bring you Duel, a graphic novel out of Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers on page 382.
Yeah.
On that same page, Adam would like this one, I think. Cook Like Your Ancestors, an illustrated guide to intuitive cooking with recipes from around the world. A illustrated cookbook on page 382.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Awesome. I love those type of things.
Everybody needs to learn how to cook at least some.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can get by. I'm not quite there on my spicing, but I know how to cook when I need to cook.
Yeah.
385. Everything I need to know I learned from Bruce Springsteen. Another reference book out there. Nice. All right, we are almost done. Sherlock Holmes and the Empire Builders, the Genie Volume 1 hardcover. Tripwire launches its Tripwire Comics Presents imprint with the first volume of its Sherlock Holmes graphic novel under 2 exclusive covers. When Watson leaves Holmes to help Francis Crick unravel the DNA helix and find himself in the employ of England's most evil man, Holmes is forced to team up with an unlikely group to defeat this monstrous figure and return England to its status quo. Love a new Holmes story, and this seems like it's deep in its own lore, and I appreciate that.
Sure.
Joel Meadows and Andy Bennett putting that out on page 386. We're back into Tomorrow's, and I don't think I have anything before manga.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the manga now, just looking. I always look to see if there's, I don't know, gosh, Gachima and Star Blazers.
Yep. Well, we have been finding some stuff of late that's been interesting, especially some like random Star Wars stuff and even some Marvel manga that was put out a couple.
Yeah, I saw in a store. Gosh, I don't remember what store I was in. It wasn't a comic store. It was some other store. God, what was that? And I saw a whole bunch of Marvel manga that I never even knew existed before.
Nice.
A lot of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Well, this on page 407, The Poetry of Ran, Volume 1 out of Titan Manga. Young bard looking to make a name for herself when she encounters the monster hunter Ran in the Sleepy Village. Ran is a child of impurity capable of slaying monsters called Karma, taking their evil into himself so it doesn't pollute the world. Poetry of Ran, Volume 1 by Yusuke Osawa, page 407. Then I'll go further in here and try to find something with the weirdest name like usual, and then I think I can call it a day. Let's see. Some Disney Twisted Wonderland manga available on page 417 if you're into that.
I just can't figure out why nobody does anything with Gachima and Battle of the Planets. It seems so long overdue.
Yeah. And it's surprising because I wonder if it's just like in like licensing hell somewhere. You know,
it could be. I mean, I know there was. Gosh, where the heck is it? I have one volume of something that featured one of them with a whole bunch of other characters from different properties, all transferred to a alternate Earth to battle stuff. I can't remember what the heck that's called. Well, I don't even see it. I know I have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad you have it at least.
Yeah, it was a good read. It was even a cartoon that I caught. Gosh, that might have been on Netflix.
Okay.
That was really good, and I just keep waiting for another volume of it to come out and be solicited, unless I missed it, which is entirely possible.
I'll see if I can find it for you.
Yeah.
432, meanwhile, A Kid's Guide to Anime and Manga. I love seeing things like this. This is chapters on the history of importance of anime and manga, breakdowns of how anime and manga are made, recommendations of popular series, and stuff like that to try to get kids further into the history of what they might be into.
Yeah.
Page 432. And I think that might be it. Do one quick scroll otherwise. And yeah, I think I want to call it. I think, oh, you know what? Never mind. One more. Page 445. Offered again, but I will mention it nonetheless. Disney manga, Donald Duck Visits Japan. By Meru Okano. If you haven't gotten this, it is available once again for solicit on page 445. Plus, they've got some Stitch manga on this, Toy Story manga,
Nightmare Before Christmas,
Nightmare Before Christmas, whole boatload of Disney related manga on page 445. That's well worth checking out. And that's it. I think that's a bolt shot.
Yeah.
Excellent. Shane, thank you for sticking with it, my friend.
Yeah, good deal. I was getting till 10 o'clock, and I'm like, gosh, we might actually finish before that.
Job well done all around.
Yeah.
Well, a thank you to the listeners once again at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak for sticking with us and donating whatever you can to the show. We really do appreciate it. And we thank you so much for all of that continued support that you bring. And let me get the Shane credits music up, and he gets to be
Shane gets to be Shane.
All right, here we go.
Boom. Visit us at comicgeekspeak.com to send us an email. The address is comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. To leave a voicemail, the number is 267-702-6642. Stop by thecomicforums.vanillacommunity.com. Check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/comicgeekspeak. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Send in your muddle the Merds. Even though Merd was not present, I'm sure we need some Merds to be muddled. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes one listener at a time.
Under 10 p.m. Under 10 p.m.